a tad bit windy out here today, but I have a Metabo SDS Plus and then an SDS Plus Rotary I bought off of AliExpress for $60. Well, $74 once you calculate taxes and all that. So I'm going to open this up for you and we're going to compare the two. And I'm going to talk about why I'm returning this and the issue I have with the seller. Let's go. Alright, so as we see, we get a lot in the box. First of all, we get a depth gauge, but if you look closely, it's crooked. But the thing is made of metal. It's made of metal. Unfortunately, it's crooked. We could probably bend it back into place, but most depth gauges are plastic. So I'll give them that. But perhaps they're made of plastic because metal bends. Anyway. Alright, and it came with some bits here, 2 bits there. It comes with a tool to open it up to lubricate because this is brushed and it requires lubrication. Well, you can change the brushes down here, but this requires lubrication at the top. It came with some gloves. It came with a dust catcher, another chisel bit. Let's pull this out. Another bit here, another drill bit, and another bit here. This is a little pick. So, and then this nice case, all for $60. But here's the problem. And I noticed some of them are like this. But when we look at also it's a 32 millimeter, which translates to 1 1/4. But when we look here, you see a little black thing right there? That is a dial to adjust the speed. And in the instructions, it talks about how, depending on the item that you're chiseling or drilling into, you need to adjust the speed. And it tells you which speeds to do according to the job. All right. So right here, it tells you pre-selecting rotational speed. And it tells you 3 to 6, high speed for hammer drilling, chiseling in a concrete or stone, and level 1 to 3 for drilling in steel or wood. It's right there, but let's take a look. It's missing. It has the arrow there, has a little cutout in the divot, but there's nothing there. So that's a problem. So it's 1 speed, and what is the speed setting? I don't know. It's high, whether it's low, I don't know. It just goes. But here we have the different settings. Here we have hammer, we have rotation of the chisel. I don't really know what that means. It explained it in there, but this has been a couple weeks since I read it. They have hammer drill and they have regular drill. And to change it, you have to press this button and then turn it, and it locks into place. Locks into place. Let's push it, turn it, and locks into place again. So today we're going to hammer something, and then we're going to do hammer drill into this concrete block. Interestingly enough, it does not come with oil, which a lot of the other ones, El Cheapos, do. And this Vivor here is rated at a whopping 7.7 joules. So we'll see. Whereas this Metabo here looks a lot nicer than this. This Metabo here is rated at 2.98, so basically 3 joules. A lot less oomph to it, but it does have a variable trigger. You can rotate and go left to right, which this, even though it has a drill function, you can't go in reverse. It just goes to the right. So here you can go left and right. There's the adjuster there, variable speed trigger, and your different settings here. I don't know what that dot is for. I have to read the instructions, but hammer, hammer drill, and regular drill. So let's get to testing. Before I get into it, this is significantly lighter than this. This probably weighs twice as much as that does. But as you can see, this is clearly more compact than that. But that does pack, I mean, it's almost double the strength on paper. So let's start with the Vivor first. Well, that was quite interesting. So over on this side, you have the Vivor. It chiseled it off really easily. But as you can see, that Metabo chiseled these other pieces off easier. As for drilling the holes, the Vivor won, I think mainly because of its weight. It was really comfortable, and I barely felt it. It felt like a regular drill drilling into the concrete. You could tell it was hammering, but you just didn't feel it. You can really sense this little shock absorber here, which which the sleeve kind of came loose, it looks like, but that was working. This doesn't have that. So, and you could tell, you could feel it. You could feel more of it in the handle because it didn't have that shock absorber there. But here's one thing that's interesting. It caused the concrete to crack on that side. On the Metabo side, it did too. It did. Look down there. So it was a little more devastating on this side, but again, that was probably due to the weight of the drill. Let's lift it up. Yeah, that's damage on the underside. So yeah, a little bit more on that side, but again, I think that was because of the weight. But I will say that wasn't bad for $60, considering this tool only is $250. I got it for $200, but this, I mean, today it's $250, $247. I think at pretty much everywhere, $247, and that with all its little accessories over there was only $60. So if you just needed something in a pinch, just to drill holes and chisel, you didn't care what setting it was on, just get her done. That's not a bad little price right there. That's not a bad little tool. I'm gonna go ahead and leave a link to it. I don't know if I could justify the $200 there. I think, I mean, basically neither one of them really have warranties. This has a 1 year, that probably has nothing. But again, it was only $60. This is brushless, whereas that one, you have to change the brushes out, you know, however long, I don't know, probably not often, but you'll have to change the brushes out, which I don't think is a big deal. The manual kind of says where the brushes are. They're down in here somewhere, so you screw that off, unscrew it, change the brushes out. Brushes are cheap. So anyway, that's all I wanted to show you guys.
I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you guys next time.